the weather's bad, I'm not going to want to go out and work in my shop, especially in the winter time when it's 20, 30 below, winds blowing, snowing. So how did my hoop house survive this past winter? I will show you that, and I'll show you a few tricks on how to keep that thing stable and on the ground. All right, folks, it's June in North Dakota. We have a little thunderstorm, little rain coming in. And behind me, you can see I have my hoop house. I call it a hoop house. It's a greenhouse. It's a tunnel, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to tell you why I put that between my house and my shop. And maybe some of you can take some tips and tricks and do it in your own backyard. Now, I think part of the reason I want to do this video is so the neighbors don't think I'm crazy or I'm growing something in there. Because at night, I also added some blue LED lights and some white lights, and it kind of glows blue, you know what I mean? And so I just want to make sure the neighbors know what's going on. I don't need no visitors from law enforcement, you know what I'm saying?
Any further on in this video, I just want to show you a little bit of the weather that moved in and how the old hoop house was taking Mother Nature's fury. Now you can see there's a little bit of wind out there and it's blowing around a little bit, but that base, she's secure.
If the weather's bad, I'm not going to want to go out and work in my shop, especially in the winter time when it's 20, 30 below, winds blowing, snowing. So how did my hoop house survive this past winter? I will show you that, and I'll show you a few tricks on how to keep that thing stable and on the ground. Make sure you stay to the end of the video. Like and subscribe, you know, they gotta say that.
Now, before we get on into all the details, I just want to let you know that I am not a professional hoop house installer. I just did the things that I did that I thought would be necessary, and if that can help you out, that's great. Now, the first thing you got to do is you got to make sure you have a level base, and you also have to make sure that your corners are squared. So what I did was I used paver brick and some wood pieces to make sure that both sides of the hoop house were at the same level as my sidewalk. Now, the reason that we need to make sure that we start from a good square base is so when you put your hoop house together, that your base will be able to be secured and tightened down to the 2x6 pieces that you put on the top. Now, the first thing you got to do is you got to take out all the pieces and find your direction sheet. Make sure that you have all the A's, B's, and double E's, you know what I mean? And lay all the pieces out in the approximate location before you start putting everything together. And then what you have to do is you have to find yourself an assistant. Now, the assistant should be somewhat competent to be able to hold some of the piping together while you bolt everything together. Now, in the excitement of putting up my hoop house, I neglected to realize that I didn't have all the pieces. Now, the hoop house that I had ordered was supposed to have a top rail and end support beams. And this hoop house did not. As you can see here in the photo, there is no top rail. Now that became a problem because I knew that with the snow load, that was not going to work because you need that extra support down the middle. Otherwise, that snow load is just going to be too heavy on those little aluminum tubes you got holding up the frame. So what I had to do was I had to contact the company and tell them that they sent me the wrong hoop house. So after some negotiating, they decided that they're going to refund me about $170, and I thought, well, I already got this hoop house set up, and I think I can modify it to my liking. And so I took the $170 and I drove myself down to the nearest Menards, and I got myself some half-inch conduit. And through Amazon, I ended up ordering some clamps that I could secure that top rail. Now, the hoop house itself is pretty long. It's 44 feet long, and right in the middle, there's a couple doorways that you can go out on either side that have zippered flaps there. Now, I knew that this was a vulnerable area to collect snow, and this area would need some additional support. And so I rigged up a bit of a bridge-style support system, just using the simple 2x4s, securing those to the 3/4 rails and the top rail, just to give a little extra support down the middle. Now, what this also did was gave it stability side to side, and I think that really helps with the wind and the overall movement of the structure to have that center support. We're gonna hang Ryan from the rafter here and see how strong it is. Are you ready, Ryan? All right. Are you ready? You got to put your arms up so you can grab on up one hand here, okay? All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, put the other hand over there. Okay. I'll do that one. Okay, hang on tight. Hang on tight. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it holding you?
Please.
Are you scared?
Please.
I got you.
Please, I'm gonna pull. Please.
I got you. All right. Well, it's strong enough to hold Ryan.
Now, the next thing we had to do was we had to put the tarp up and over the structure. Now, I say we, but it was actually just me. My assistant decided it was more important to nap that day than it was to help me put that over, so it's a testament that one person can do the job. Now, I do recommend doing it on a low wind type of day. There was a little bit of wind when I put it up, but it only blew off one time, so that wasn't too bad. Now, one of the things you want to make sure that you do is get your tarp on straight, because otherwise, once you secure one end, you get down to the other end, it ain't going to fit. So the next dilemma we had to solve was to determine how to keep the weather from blowing underneath the base, because in my case, I had some gaps up to 4 inches in some areas in which weather and debris and snow could blow up underneath, and that would defeat the whole purpose of having a shelter. So what I initially thought I would do was put some fill dirt in on the inside to make everything level with the sidewalk, which would be level with my base, and that would in turn keep the weather out. However, the guy that I contacted to haul the dirt in procrastinated enough to make me make a decision, because I was up against the weather. It was now starting to be late October, early November, and I had to make a decision because I knew snow was going to fly soon. So I ended up getting some landscape type thick material to be able to adhere to the side of the base on the outside. And to make sure that the wind wouldn't blow up underneath that, I got a bunch of concrete block pieces that helped keep the tarp down, and then I also used those lawn staples to secure the plastic to the ground. To the base, I used some wood pieces that were screwed in with some half-inch deck screws, and I also used a staple gun and stapled my tarp down to the bottom all the way across. Now, the last part of my project, I had to figure out a way to connect the ends of the tunnel to both my house and my shop. And so what I did was, in the entryway of my house, A couple years ago, I used some cattle panel or sheep panels or whatever you want to call it. They're 4 feet by 8 feet sheets, and they're just welded metal. And I found out that if you get the heavy-duty shrink wrap like they use in Costco and some other warehouse situations to hold material on the pallets, if you get that strong stuff and you wrap those cattle panels with that, that is a great way to keep the weather out while still maintaining a little bit of visibility, and you're able to have the sunshine come through. I use barn door hardware to make a little doorway there at the end so I can access the backyard and get over to my other shed. If I could do it all over again, I would probably make myself a little bit more permanent structure there on both ends. Although for right now, the 44-foot hoop house is doing its job. I'm pretty satisfied with the way it held up in winter, and it has my recommendation.
Now, during construction, one of the biggest obstacles I had was I had taken in a girl that, she had been kicked out of her house, and I gave her a room in my house, and I was trying to do well and offered her a job and a little bit of help around the house to help get her on her feet. But one of the biggest things I realized is, you can give the horse water, as they say, but you can't make him drink. And well, this girl, she ended up turning out to be really negative, especially about my hoop house. Now, she did help in some aspects. She helped me put the hoop panels together while you bolt the ends together here. But she kept saying, "You're overthinking. You're overdoing it. You don't need that extra support. You don't need that center rail." But I tell you what, yes, I did. I needed it. So here's one of the best tips that I could give you. Don't listen to negativity. If you want to do something and you feel in your gut that you need a little extra structure, a little extra strength, a little extra security, then listen to that gut feeling. Don't let no negative Nancy, her name wasn't Nancy, but don't let any of that get in the way of you doing what you know is right when you're trying to build your hoop house. So, hopefully this video gave you a little bit of value, inspired you to maybe do something in your backyard. And I am 100%, I'm about 90% satisfied with this hoop house. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple of the reasons that, I may rethink things in the future. One of the negative parts of the whole experience was this spring, I tried to open up this side door behind me. The zipper was a little tough to open, and after I opened it up, it split. Well, it's still split. So I had to use some zip ties and a little bit of duct tape to make sure the wind doesn't start flapping it around and getting wind and rain and other critters in here. You know what I mean? So outside of that, so far, I've headed the structure completely up since November. It's now June, and it's doing fairly well. It's holding up. You can kind of see a little bit of wind today, nothing too bad. I do have that footage from yesterday that did show a little bit more wind and nasty weather. This hoop house from Utah Home is still standing. And for those of you that didn't think it would, stand up to a North Dakota winter. You're wrong. It did stand up. It's still standing. And I'm still walking the 44 feet between my house and my shop, unobstructed and dry. Have a great day. Just make sure you stay to the end of the video. Like and subscribe, you know, they gotta say that. All right, show everybody the hoop house. Look, there he is. Crazy little kid. All right, go stand over there. Go stand over there. This ain't gonna work now. All right, this is it. This is it for now. All right, say goodbye, Ryan. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
All right, we tried.